Alright, if you are here, then it means you wish to start making missions in FNF. First few things you need to know: naming convention that we post in the description, so you just copy paste it, and how to get the preset before we can get into it. Now, check the hidden messages of missions. It's by miscellaneous in the Discord of Friday Night Fight. You just want to scroll down, ignore everything Arcor says. Head on over to here, go download zip. As you can see, I've already got a few versions of it now. Downloads, head into here, missions, FNF template mission VR. Now we need to get to our directory, which I'm going to reset just for the sake of it. So on this PC, documents, through profiles, basebeard, or whatever your name is, missions, and then here we are. This is the folder where you chuck everything that you ever make in editor. That's where it all goes. This is its home. So you can just go and drag and drop that right on in, which as you can see, I've already done. So I don't need to do it. Right, now that we've done that, you can go and head straight back onto Armor 3. Now, first things first, open up the mission you want to do. I went with Sarani. You can pick any of these, it doesn't matter. You're not restricted in any way. Once you've done this, all we have to do, save as, untick the binarize. Then we can go grab the naming convention. File name, there we go. I can't be bothered to change anything. It won't make much difference anyway, because I'm going to change mine afterwards, and this is a tutorial. Yeah, plug in what you want, so your name, your mission, the year, month, day of its creation, / the Friday you want it in, and the game mode, and then EU and A. Now I'm going to change one thing, and that's going to be this to Rush. There we go. And I want it for EU. I'm not going to bother with anything else, and then hit save. Sweet. Now that I've done that, we can head back to our missions. Reload it. And as you can see, let's load this up. Now this is missing everything. We haven't got any of the anything from the mission template VR. So we need to go ahead, Control C or Control Copy, or whatever, head over here, paste, and skip this file. Never mind, I've made a mistake and I'm too lazy to go back. We need that mission SQM, sorry. Grab that and then paste it in. Boom, there we go. Hit reload, head over here. Scenario, open. We go and open up our FNF mission. There we go. Now, without surprise, we'll have some floaty people, but that's okay. Now, we first of all need to acquaint ourselves with all of these lovely things that we don't understand. You can ignore all of these at the bottom. I won't touch those. That is for the admin login. Don't mess around with it. The mission editors will know. Spectators, you'll just move where they start. It won't bother them. And the cover map and the area trigger, just leave those alone. Don't do anything if you move them, so don't worry about that. But it's just for the sake of keeping it neat and tidy. Don't move these as well. These are your objectives. Don't delete them. Don't touch anything until you're sort of like at that stage. Start cutting stuff. So let's start with the basics. First things first, I want independent and I want blue 4. I'm going to go with attack, defend, uplink rush. We can just go ahead and grab these suckers and chuck them wherever the hell we want. I want my blue 4. I want them up here. That's where they're going to start. I want these guys down at the airfield. There we go. Now we need a play area. Don't not have a play area. Don't have the play area be like massive. And by massive, I mean like, you could have it say like if you wanted this to be the play area, that's fine. Just don't make it so it's like this. You need to restrict it so it's like, more of a corridor to the objectives, or a box around them. Don't make it too big. Don't make it too small. Because you either get a clusterfuck or you get people just going away and like going to the beach because they can. There's nothing stopping them. So this is what I'm going to go for. I'm actually going to lower it a little bit because there's no need for it to be that high. And it'd be kind of cool to see, you know, outflanking maneuvers. Right, now we're not using op4, so we're just going to bin them. They can bugger off. Delete any factions you're not using, otherwise it will just clog up the slotting screen, and it's annoying as well. So now we've done that, we need our objectives. Now if you look here, it has all the descriptions of them, so we can ignore most of these. If you want to use these objectives, you can just read them. You know, attack, defense, sector control, neutral control, that's like King of the Hill. This is sector defense attack. This is capture the flag, and this is caches. I will go on a little bit more about those after, but we're just going to go with attack, defend, uplink, rush. So we need these three suckers. Let's drag them over. Take them all the way into here. Now I've decided I want this one in Bonoma, this one in Masbeta, and this one in Peter. I do apologise I butchered those names, but what you going to do about it? Let's grab our uplink, chuck it in the ground floor, this building. I don't speak for the mission vetting team here or anything, but I think it is preferable if it is on the ground floor, for everyone's sake, including the players. But if you want to, I guess you could chuck it elsewhere. I'm just going to have one on the ground floor for the sake of the tutorial video, because there's no need to overcomplicate it. And for this one, it's just going to go right in here. One thing to make sure you do is to put the terminals in like actual places that are accessible, not in like dumb spots like not here, that's not allowed. You know, something that's like that. You've got to put it like with a good clearance of the room. So over here would be okay if I were to rotate it, and make sure it's, you know, tucked away nice and snug in the corner of the room, not blocking any passageways, because that's when armor incidents happen, and it's a little bit cheaty. So yeah, right, now that we've done that, we can go ahead and start editing these. Now these green and blue areas around these factions in the corresponding colour, it's, as you can see, independent safe start marker. So I'm going to crank this soldier boy up to about 1,000, and by 1,000. That should encompass, it doesn't, okay, I'm going to have to crank that even further, 3,000, and I'm going to make it a box. But now that's a little bit too far. It takes a lot of tweaking, just to get it right. There we go. I don't want to go in too far, so that's going to be a safe start. That means they can move around here freely without getting sent back to gay baby jail, and then boom, that's it. That's all we have to do. That is it sorted. We can just get rid of that. You can get rid of the comments if you want to. They're not going to do anything other than tell whoever's an Eden editor what they are, but you already know that, so there might not be any need to. Oh, are these not selected? They're not, my bad. But let's put them on the floor. Let's make sure independent aren't doing that as well. There we go. Right. And now we can hit save. Alright, now that's out the way. Next step is to mess around with the configs. So, let's head back into our mission name, yada yada yada, you're in the mission section. A few things we want to look into and change. These two, and that. These are the three files you want to mess around with. Nothing else, leave everything else alone, don't touch it, unless you really know what you're doing. And even then, it'll most likely be changed back, because they try to keep it standardized. Let's go ahead into the config. We're not doing destroy, we're doing uplink rush, which is, again, uplink but sequential. There we go. I hit save already. So now, what's going to happen is it's not going to activate any of these other ones out in the corner of the map. It's just going to do this with this one's file. And it's going to go fetch its config, which we're going to edit shortly. Now this is the next part. We want to get independent for the defending side. Let's cut that out, and we're doing for west for attackers. There we go. If it's neutral objective, just don't touch it, leave it, ignore it, and it'll all be okay. Now here we have the uniforms, weapons, and map launcher options for you know, if you're your side. So if you want to change them, which I'm going to do for the sake of this, I am going to give I'm gonna give the Metis to independent. Here we are. I'm gonna give blue 4 a say javelin. I don't expect this to be. This is not going to make it into a proper FNF mission. I'll probably tweak those and change those according to the assets being used. But this is just the sake of the tutorial of how to mess around with this stuff. One thing to keep in mind always is RHS versus vanilla. Just don't do it. Down here we have all of our variables that we can change. So fortify, I'm going to say yes. I would like the defenders to have that option. I'm going to drop that a little bit. Then this is all good. I'm going to upgrade the start time to 20 minutes because I feel like the 2 company commands need more time to set up, especially with the long journey they've got to go and everything else. We can ignore this. Unless you want to change that, I don't want to. I'm going to set this to false. There we go. Hit save. Be careful your capitalization. If it's not, sometimes it can break. We can ignore that. Don't touch any of those. I mean, you can turn that on if it's a nighttime mission. It overrides their game settings for gamma and stops it from just like being over too much. What have I done? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I'm going to give the G3-6 to independent because I can. There you go. There we go. And that's pretty much what you have to do. You can pretty much leave that now unless you want to mess around with some other settings. Like I'm going to drop down maximum view distance to 1000 because it's going to be quite it might tax people's FPS, unfortunately. Then we can press close. Next thing, the most important thing is mode config, and we're going to go to rush and make sure we've got our 3 terminals up there. You usually don't have to edit this, but as you can see, if you take somewhere like Uplink, it only has 2, and so you'd have to increase it to 3 if you had like the same what I had, but non-sequential. And that's the same with the other ones. So you can change it. You can grab the variable name and chuck it on any prop that's destroyable. And yeah, you can. I mean, there are limits to what you can and can't do on some of these. So you can't just be like 11 million sectors, say, or like or whatever. But you can change the add time for points, that type of thing. That's all configurable in here. But it's worth noting down what you've changed so you can tell the people in the briefing. Next thing to know is we want to go to here. Your name, which we can just plug in. Captain Acebeard. Load name, tutorial, and description is tutorial for everyone. There you go, gonna be nice. Hit save, and that is now gonna what shows everyone when they load in. That is pretty much it. That is pretty much it for config. It's really plug and play. It's that simple. You can head back to here, press save, play multiplayer, hit OK, and it's going to take us to the slotting screen where we can do whatever. I'm going to play as independent command. I may have broken that. I think I have. I'm going to spawn the gun. Oh no, I spawned one. I've messed it up. I can't remember how to change weapons, so don't quote me on that. I'll make another one after next tutorial video on how to do that. As you can see, Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3. You can't see where Blue 4 start. Independent just know they have to hold this line here. And that's it. That's everything out the way. This is now technically a fully functioning mission. But we're going to go the extra step further. First things first, I'm going to go head back and fix what I broke. Okay, so for M, Save. What have I broken? I wonder have I gone insane? Whatever, you can change that. I know you can change it, but don't quote me on what I've done. I need to do more testing with that, and I'll come out with another video on how to properly do all this. It'll be brief. Everything else though, like that, you can just plug in. You know, from down here if you want, you know, like EMR, green, whatever. So yeah, I will do another video on that later, and how to set up custom objectives. Once I've refreshed my mind on it, it's been a while since I've made a mission. Right, so what we're going to start doing now is giving them vehicles. I'm not going to worry about presentation. I'm just going to worry about everything else. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Please don't break. That is the worst resolution I have seen. Whatever, we're going to go for a stretchy boy. It is what it is. You're all... It doesn't matter what faction really, as long as it's distinguishable between the two. So let's give us some transport vehicles. I'd say line them up, take some time, take some care. Again, I'm not too worried about the layout of it. I'm just going to be chucking stuff down. Where is our Dishka? No, this is gonna break the mold. I'm gonna give them a mortar and a Dishka. There we go. So they've got a mortar, an MK6, and 2 of those. Be sure to include stuff for that, like because I've included the mortar. I'm gonna have to give them a HE. I'm gonna give them a HE rounds box. There we go, and that's all sorted. Now I'm gonna give them an MI8. Here we go. Here's their MI8. Now, naughty rocket pods. Never add HE rocket pods. You want to get rid of those. Those are naughty. So we're just going to take these off. Thank you, phone, for being very loud. Also, during this downtime, we've been messing around with this stuff. So if you're wondering what the hell the noise is in the background, like a weird fan noise, it's because I'm poor and my GPU is going supersonic like a 77 Boeing airline. So you can just ignore that. That's pretty much it. Boom. They've got their door gunners. At which point we're going to delete these as needed. So they haven't got any armoured assets. They have a mortar. So we're going to leave in 1 crewman. If they wanted a dedicated team. Now one thing I need to keep notes of is what they've done here. So Hotel 1, 2, 3. Because we've only got 1 helicopter. Boom. We can get rid of those. We're going to get rid of these guys. We just want Golf 1. And that's it. And even then, I'm going to cut out 2 of these guys. Oh, I did not mean to do that. There we go. And I'm going to rename them accordingly, just for the sake of it. So, Mortar Commander. Mortar Gunner. And then we're going to have the MI8A MTSH. Missed my capitalization. There we go. I'm just going to copy that because I can't be asked to rewrite it out each time. And we're going to encourage 2 gunners. Because that's how it's intended. It's going to be like a mini gunship. There we go. Boom. That's all we need to do. Delete the ones you're not using. Put the ones you are using in. Yeah. Then we can go to Blue 4. We're just going to give them the same similar setup. No mortars. We're going to give them lunch boxes instead. If you're wondering what a lunchbox is and what the hell I just said, don't you worry. You're in for a treat. Let's have some murals. And then the lunchboxes. So these are M11, M113, A3. These things from the Horizon Zero Defense Force. Horizon Zero, what? No, I'm playing too much fucking PlayStation. There we go. These old things, they look like lunch boxes, like aluminium cans with M2 on it. They're amazing. And we're going to give them a 1H UH. Have I misspelled something? UH1H, here we go. This faction's pretty good because they have the MG instead of the rocket pods, and that's what we're looking for here, because no rocket pods. Rocket pods bad. But yeah, I'm covered that by already. So we're going to again get rid of the unneeded golf squads. We're going to get rid of these two. We're just going to have these guys. Gonna have the I actually forgot to cut these out. We need the vehicle platoon medic and vehicle platoon lead, and then we can just get rid of them two for crewmen only, not for these guys. Pilots don't need them, in my opinion. So you have the 1H UH. Did I already put an I? What's wrong with me? 1H dash UH pilot. Copy, paste. Each of these. Gonna. Oh god. You know what? I'm not too fast. You get the idea though. I need to stop worrying with these details. Same with these guys. We're just gonna slap in, you know, instead of that, M11 A3, M13 A3, M2 Commander, and we're just gonna put that in all of those. I'm not gonna bore you with the details because you probably wanna, you know, you're gonna take time to do this yourselves. We can once again save, and that is nearly it. The last thing we need to do is hit the multiplayer, turn off AI, press close on that, and we're going to do this format. Brush. Attackers are blue, so blue info. We're going to give blue 20% advantage, just because they've got the terrain advantage and there'd be a slaughter otherwise. And then we're going to list off their assets. So they have 2 times M11, 3 A3s, M2, and a 1H UH gunship. There we go. On the independent ones, they had a MI8 AMTSH, 2 DYS HKAs, statics, and a MK6 mortar. And that is pretty much it. Everything else you can leave. The script overrides this. Press OK, boom, and now your mission's ready. Now all you have to do is click export, export to multiplayer. When that's done, we can head back to our desktop. This bit's a little bit annoying. You're going to navigate to Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Arma 3, multiplayer missions, and that is it. It's now in there, which mine is. Here we go, there it is. And then you just go to your home, your desktop, whatever, and then track down where our core is on your right here. And send it to him. Blow up his inbox, and boom. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. It's very plug and play. After you know what you're doing, you sort of just fly through it. Like, I just cranked this one out in a tutorial in about, I don't know, that's probably about 30 minutes, give or take, and that's me explaining it as well. In reality, it takes me for about 10-20 minutes to crank out a mission. And then you send it to the mission vetting team, and they'll come back with some notes and changes if they feel it is a bit unbalanced. Now that we've done that, I'm going to go over some tips, tricks, and things to avoid. Numero uno, safe start. Let's make sure 24/7 that wherever the border of independent is, they can't see where the other team's starting if it's attack and defend. No one likes to be able to see the enemy team when you're in safe start, because all it leads to is them making an MMG team line up and gun you down the moment it starts. Let's try and avoid that. Account for terrain high points. So like even up here they wouldn't be able to see, and even if they did go all the way up here, they wouldn't be able to see. Or would they? No, they wouldn't. They would not be able to. They might be able to see their approach, but they won't be able to see them. Few things to note. Asset stacking. If you want to give a team a tank, that's fine. You don't need to give them another asset to the other team, another asset to deal with said tank. They have a mat team for a reason. Don't go ahead and just start like slapping down loads of SPGs because there's a tank. Those are not fun to play against. Guidelines for making missions. Infantry is the main focus of FNF. Everything else is just spice. It is just spice. There's no point making, loads of tanks, loads of planes, loads of aircraft, loads of helicopters, whatever. If you want that, go play War Thunder. As brutal as it sounds, it's just not fun for infantry when you have to hide from a tank that is invincible because you're firing 7.62 and that thing fires a 105mm shell or some crap like that. So yeah, just something to note when you're making missions. Terrain, travel time, transport. Just don't give them loads of bloody UAZs. The annoying little Russian technical things. These things. Don't just chuck down loads of these. They are awful. They're bad at their job. Like giving them one. Like if I did that, for in my eyes, what would be like command? If platoon, company command want to jump in one, and a platoon in the other, like lead. That's fine. But don't just make the entire transport out of those. It's so dumb, unnecessary, and boring. A Ural can take an entire section. So these two guys could fit in right there in one of those. For the sake of it, I'm even going to show you. Let's see how many I can fit in there. Oh, it is just one then. But still, that's still an entire section. Look how cramped it is in there. There's no need to put them then. Let's do the opposite example. Look at that. Cramped, and these guys now have no home, and they're going to take another Ural. Oh my god, it is very cramped in there. So yeah, please avoid that. It's unnecessary. What else is there? No HE rockets. Those that can level an entire bloody town. Aircraft, AC-130s for power jumps or whatever. Those are fine. We've never seen a proper Chinook in missions before. They're unutilized. There's no real point in them. But you can chuck in parachutes in your vehicles if you want to see them do something. Yeah, that is pretty much it for mission making. That'd be all. That is literally it. You can now go forth and make your missions. Any questions, the missions channel exists, or Arcor's inbox. One of them will wind up someone. I'll leave you to find out which is which. But yeah, you can go ahead and you can send anyone in the mission vetting team questions or in the missions box. The application process for getting a mission in is make a mission, naming convention, send it to Arcor or any member of staff, but it'll be more efficient if it's sent to Arcor because he's the head of the mission vetting team, at which point it will then be worked on by one of the team members and they will then contact you with notes, improvements, etc. So it's quite clean cut and it's fairly well organised. That's about it. Always make sure you're listing off your stuff in the attributes multiplayer. Always go ahead and test it in multiplayer as well, so the scripts take effect. Let's just jump in. Common, or not very common, but things that can happen if anything does break, such as the slots, if they're in the wrong order. Oh, that is wrong. That's something in the config. I've messed up. Whatever. Yeah, if the slots are anything like the wrong order, slots work and they're placed down in order of when they're put down. So if I put down a squad and then put down another squad, the second squad will come after the first. and that's how it works. So just if anything's broken, just replace it. So to make sure they're at the bottom of the list. So let's say Hotel 1 was above Golf 2, and it was breaking up Golf 1. What you would do is you would just get rid of Golf 2 and put Hotel in last after you put Golf 2 back in. I hope I explained that well enough and understandably. Do apologise if I haven't. Again, any questions, chuck in the missions section. Any scripting stuff, chuck in the mission section. Environment you can change, yada yada yada. Everything else is just knowing how to use Eden. I hope this was helpful. Hope this helped you make missions, and hopefully you can see your stuff in FNF soon. On that note, that'll be all from me.